Crouse.
Do you regret any of it at all? When you look back at those times?
No, the only thing I wish is that we would have been able to take a couple months off when I left the band and then just regroup and talk. We had lost communication, and it wasn't until just recently when Joan wrote the foreword to my book where she said she was pissed off that I'd left. I thought she wanted me out. You know, we just grown apart, all of us, because we just didn't communicate.
Right.
And we were so tired. You know, we never got a break in that almost, 2+ years. We never even got a break. So, that was pretty much the demise of the band. And, of course, Kim Fowley looked at it as a gravy train, and anytime we were resting, he wasn't making any money. Of course, we weren't making any money at all because he was stealing all of it.
Right.
So, you combine that with, over 2 years of being constantly on the road in the studio, some infighting and just exhaustion, and it had to end.
And a lack of maturity, too, I'm sure. At certain points, you're very young, and it's a situation that you could not possibly ever have imagined and have no way to deal with, so that would have to factor in there as well, I would imagine.
Well, you have to be a father, obviously, to say that. Are you?
I'm not, but I have little nieces. I'm around young people.
Okay, well, I can tell. And you're right. You're absolutely right. Had we had just some protection and some rest, I think we could have continued on to another album. And Kim Fowley believes that next album would have basically, broke us out into the mainstream. But, then we wouldn't have had a real interesting story now, would we?
Right. It would have been a much different story. Yeah. Now, when you first saw Dakota, I guess you were involved. I've seen photos of you on set and that kind of thing. What was it like meeting her, and did you feel that she was the right one to play you?
Well, when I heard on the Channel 5 News here from Sam Rubin, who is an entertainment anchor that everyone knows, that Dakota was going to be playing me, and I literally almost fainted because she's just my favorite actress. And I've been a big fan of hers, and she came to see me perform Cherry Bomb at a benefit. I got to meet her there, and then we went out to lunch. And when she told me the story about how she got the script and what had happened to her that day, just blew my mind. She'd gone to school, and one of her friends had these temporary tattoos, and she'd picked a single cherry.
Oh.
And put it on her arm, and came home, and her mother, Joy, said, "Oh my God, this script, you'd be playing a girl with a cherry on her shoulder." And Dakota read the script, and she said she knew she was the only person to play this role. And I said, "Well, why do you feel that way?" And she said, "Because what are they going to do, get a 26-year-old to play a 15, 16-year-old? She knew that this was not going to be an easy role. And I just couldn't be happier with Dakota.
She's always been terrific in things, but this is, I think, a huge leap forward for her. This is her first adult role, and even though she's playing a 15-year-old and she is still very young, this is a role that will, I think, come to define her in some ways in the way that she works.
I agree with you. I mean, if you look at, Hound Dog, I just had the opportunity to see that film. She's brilliant, and she's a great singer. But, I mean, someone like Dakota Fanning, you just can't hold this girl back. And she wants to dive into some real reality, and that's what she did with this, because you can't get much bolder than this role. And she did it flawlessly.
I think so, too. Now, there's a picture that I've seen of Dakota, you, and your mom, Marie Herman, on set. Now, how has your mother reacted to the film and the portrayal of her in the movie?
Well, walking in saying, "Places, everyone, places," that never happened.
No.
But my mom was an accomplished actress, and I think that, and I really appreciate John and Art Linson and Floria saying, "Listen, if you can come up with a better way that we can say she was an actress, tell us, and we'll change this." But I really couldn't. Then I all of a sudden saw that, hey, they had limited time to introduce my mom into this film, and I think it's kind of funny. And my mom really, really loved it. I think Tatum, of course, she's a great actress, and my mom was thrilled.
Oh, good. Now, we're almost out of time. I just have one last question. What do you think the legacy of the Runaways and their influences on bands that came afterwards?
Well, our legacy is that, first of all, girls can rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you believe in your heart that there's something that you want to do, just go for it. You know, life isn't always easy, and it's just an empowering movie for women and for girls of all ages, just to be true to yourself and just never give up.